today?
And?
Good, thanks.
So, love your sweater.
Thank you. Feeling very cozy. Brought my Canada with me.
Your character is interesting in the show because you're pretty much the only one who doesn't have an alternate or dual personality, but you are now playing against all these alternate versions of people you've been playing against. How does that?
Not even the alternates we had already introduced. Now there's however you want to describe the new wrinkle, which is so it resets the emotional relationships between even the primary characters, and then does the same thing with the alternates as well.
And talk about the challenge of that, sort of calibrating the reactions.
Yeah, I mean, the challenge. It's a good challenge. I mean, it's actually fun, which is to make sure that you just remind yourself to stay honest about the new dynamics and not play. You build even as actors, but as characters, you build the dynamic over the course of episodes and seasons, and then you get into something like this where all of that goes out the window, and you just have to remind yourself not to play I mean, it's sort of like doing a new show. You can't play the season 3 relationship. You got to play the season 1 relationship.
Is it hard to keep it straight?
Certainly in the beginning of this season, especially when there's just so many. We're at version 6 of the universe now, so there's so many different things to keep in your head. But as more stories of this season have come out, then those relationships become defined by the stories that we've been telling. So it actually gets simpler as the season goes on. So at this point, that's not too much of a challenge. At the beginning of the season, definitely trying to redefine and rework and figure out what those relationships are going to be. But at this point, it's sort of everybody's on the same page now.
Okay. And the last question I had is we don't know what the writers are going to do, obviously, for the rest of the season. But where would you like to see Peter end up this season?
I had really strong opinions about that last year. I felt like there was a really necessary ending, which was the ending that we had for Peter last season. This season is the first time on the show that I'm totally nonplussed as to where the show is going. So I'm just sort of open to wherever it ends. Whatever his story becomes, or whatever, really it's not his story, whatever part of the story he becomes, I will find out in a couple of weeks.
John Noble shared with us that he's rarely had to ask for changes or made suggestions. Have you had the same experience with your characters? Yeah,
the only suggestion that I made was that ending for last year, and then other than that, that's not the place for us. Is not really one, there's just not time for it, and 2, the guys aren't there, so it wouldn't matter anyway. But our space is between the actors on set, making those words into whatever we want to make them, not trying to change the words to suit whatever because we just don't know where the story is going. I mean, I'm on the second to last episode, and I have no idea what's about to happen in the last episode. So that we don't have any part of that sort of the creative conversation that happens down here in LA.
And we just learned that Desmond from Lost is going to be in episode 19. Do you have scenes with him?
I do not. For reasons I can't tell you, but I do not.
It's a bummer, though.
It happens, unfortunately. I mean, I didn't get to work with Nimoy either for the first 2 times that he was there, but that's just the nature of the beast sometimes.
Last episode we saw Peter made this resolution to get back to his Olivia. How is he going to be dealing with that
He's a bit waffly lately. Mm-hmm. It's him, it's her, it's not her, he's got to go home, I'm staying, I'm going to solve this universe too. He's just got to make up his mind.
How's he dealing with that struggle?
Not well, that's what I'm saying. He's all over the place. I can't give you a serious answer because it's answered in this next episode. So I will be zapped out of here immediately if I give you a proper answer to that question.
And what kind of feelings do you have about the uncertainty about whether the show gets picked up?
Well, I have the feeling that it's a TV show, and all TV shows get canceled eventually. So the only thing for me, and we've all said this ad nauseum, is that if we are going to get canceled, I just want them to know, we're right up against it now. We only have one story left to tell. I'm positive that they have built in the ability to finish the story, or the ability to go into the next story as basically an alternate ending version of the script. So if the word comes down and the axe does come, I just want to make sure that there's that the story closes whenever the show ends, whether it's this season, whether it's next season, whether it's 10 seasons from now. It just, the audience has been so dedicated, our beautiful, you know, cortex of fanatics, that it would just suck to leave them in the lurch.
Thanks so much.